Hi, and welcome to AI Tech Packs. Today I'm going to be showing you the best practices for prompts and teaching you how the prompt system works for AI Tech Packs. So before we start, some important prompting notes. Our prompts focus on providing direction for two primary categories in your tech pack, and that is the BOM, so the materials, and also the POM, so your measurements. AI Tech Packs also does not support numeric sizing such as 0, 1, and 2. We only support alpha sizing like small, medium, large, extra large. So if you do want to use numeric sizing, you have to convert your numeric sizing over to an alpha sizing. All right, so let's get started. So in general, there's two types of prompts supported within AI Tech Packs. I like to break it down into two categories called generic prompts and strict prompts. So generic prompts are like natural language instructions. It's something like, for example, I have this example on my screen here. I want a red oversized hoodie for short men. Keep it cozy for the winter, right? I'm literally using natural language to provide direction on how we should build out the tech pack. On the other hand, we have strict prompts. Strict prompts are clear list of defined bill of materials and clear list of defined measurements or point of measurements. You can also write out strict prompts using grade rules. Now, strict prompts do not need all the information filled in. So let's say I provide a bunch of points of measurements. I don't have to provide all the measurement values for the points of measurements. However, I have to still provide at least a partial table. So over here on the right side, on that right corner, sorry, over here, you can see what a strict prompt looks like. It's a clear defined BOM table, and then on the bottom, we have a clear defined size chart / point of measurements. So when to use generic versus strict prompts? You should use generic prompts if you're new to AI tech packs or new to tech packs in general. You're a beginner, you've never made a tech pack before, or you've never developed clothing before. Strict prompts, on the other hand, were built for established brands and design teams. So our customers that use strict prompts typically already have a vast array of styles and pre-existing tech packs. It was really built so you can import existing like clear specification and specs into the system, and the system is guaranteed to use those specs. So let's go ahead and write a generic prompt. Make this hoodie be a cropped hoodie for men, slim fit, use some sort of cotton that is soft to the touch. So let's do that right here. Make this hoodie, let me upload my image first. Make this hoodie cotton, soft to the touch. What did I write here? Let me just copy and paste it to make it faster. So you can see right here, I have my generic prompt. So in AI Tech Packs, we actually transform every single generic prompt into a strict prompt. This is how we guarantee consistency, and that way our system always is consistent with generating what you tell it. So even though you're submitting a natural language instruction to our AI, we're actually converting this. We're going to convert this now into a strict prompt. So let's see how that works. So we're going to click Enhance. And as you can see here, the software has returned to us the structure for the strict prompt. And it also provides an explanation of why it chose these things. As I understand, many of you who are going to be using generic prompts probably have never made a tech pack before and are very unfamiliar with this vocabulary. So we try to make it as easy as possible for you to learn and understand the definitions. As you can see here, I can hover over the measurement names, for example, to understand what they mean. And if you have any questions or want to make any changes, you can ask the AI as well on why it structured your natural language instructions into the strict prompt. For example, let's ask, why does it want to use brushed fleece? So you can see here, the AI picked up, you asked, why do you want to use brushed fleece? Looking at your image, I can see you want a soft, cozy hoodie look, and brushed fleece helps with that inside because the inside is made fluffy and soft, kind of comfortable feel of a favorite sweatshirt. Now, if you want to make any changes, you can also just ask the AI to make changes for you. For example, I don't want to use cotton. So it has now altered our materials to remove all the cotton and replaced it with polyester slash rayon, which if you're also unfamiliar with what rayon is, you can also ask the AI what is rayon. Anyways, we can click accept and use. And then here, you can also just edit it manually as well. If you know exactly what you want, and let's say you want to change a value or something, you could change the value of your prompt right here. But if you're happy with it, then just click generate. So how do I write a strict prompt? Okay, so strict prompts were built primarily, again, for people with existing tech packs, typically stored in Excel sheets or something similar. So we built it so you can simply open up your tech pack, copy and paste that information right into this text box here. And then you'll see when I copy it into this text box, it looks really dirty and really hard to understand. So what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to click format. And then the AI, the software will actually format this into the strict prompt style, I guess, is one way to put it. And then that way we can check if we submitted our prompt correctly. So again, like, I think the customers that find this the most helpful, again, are customers with previous styles that they've already produced. They're happy with those specs, and they want to use those exact specs in the system. It's useful to format your copy and paste like blob of text essentially from your Excel sheet. That way you can understand and read and make sure that, the copy and pasting went well and your prompt is structured properly. So now I want to talk about what is locking. So if you scroll down here, you'll see two buttons, lock POM measurements and lock bill of materials. So what locking does is that it prevents the AI from adding new bill of material items or points of measurements. The AI will still complete missing values, such as, let's say you provide a measurement name with missing measurements under that measurement name. We will still fill in that missing information even though you locked it. However, we will not add a brand new measurement out of the blue. The same applies to the bill of materials as well. So when you lock and click these buttons, only the information you provide will be used within your tech pack. However, we will always fill in missing information. Typically locking, I would suggest locking your POMs for people with complete size charts. Otherwise, our AI, let's say you're providing us, for example, like a list of 20 or 30 measurements. So you have a pretty complete size chart already. You're going to want to lock your points of measurements in this situation because our AI is probably going to add, an additional measurement here and there that is unnecessary for your tech pack. You already have a very complete size chart. The bill of materials, however, I would probably recommend not to lock it in general. I prefer to keep that unlocked because oftentimes that's where I see the AI really being helpful, is being able to pull materials and create callouts of materials from the image that may be missing off of your bill of materials. However, you can experiment with this and let me know what you think. Finally, we also support prompts by grade rules. So you actually, instead of writing, prompts by grade rules pretty much follow the same structure as our strict prompts. It is a form of a strict prompt, but instead of writing out, like, you see how I had to copy and paste this whole size chart and there's a lot of information here. I could have just, for example, provided my S size or whatever my sample size is going to be, whether a small or medium or large, I could just provide one column for my sizes and then type out the grade to grade rules for it. For example, like +2, 0.5, and whatever, right? And then also I could provide a tolerance. And then in the background, our AI is actually rebuilding your size chart. And we'll apply that information as well. So why do I keep talking about strict prompts? Because at the end of the day, all of our prompts become strict prompts behind the scene. And strict prompts are important because once you, let's say you have like 50 styles that you've developed in the past, 50 unique styles in the past, and you have all of these styles stored in Excel sheets and whatever. You can actually upload and start putting it into our system like this. And then now we can save it as a style block and say like, this is hoodie style A, for example. So whenever we go and generate a new tech pack, we want to use a pre-existing style and pattern that we already know works for our company and for our brand. We could just load a style block and then apply it, and then maybe make minor tweaks that are relevant for the product that you're building. But overall, we're reusing the same pattern here, so we can just reuse the same prompt structure. Now, let me demonstrate to you the output of using a strict prompt with locking. So as you can see here, let's pay attention to this. We have 6 materials, and then we have 25 points of measurements. If I lock the bill of materials, actually I'm going to leave the bill of materials unlocked just to show you the difference of unlocked versus locking. So when I generate this, we should see 25 measurements and probably more than 6 materials. Okay, so our tech pack is done building. And as you can see here, we have exactly 25 points of measurements. So that's what I mean by locking your points of what the lock system does. And then with the bill of materials, we have 8. So it looks like the AI decided to add like maybe 2 more materials. So yeah, hopefully that helped explain our prompt system. Other than that, here's some extra information about prompts I thought was important to talk about. Again, so we maintain the original information order that we receive information from you. So I want to explain what that means. So you see here, I have these measurements coming in, right? Lower length from under bust seam, and then a different measurement for the under bust seam, and then we have center back length. Reading top down is how we're going to render this in the tech pack. Same for the materials. So main fabric, trim fabric, all trims, print / embellishment, seams, labels, and tags. This will all be rendered in that order. This is important because I know for some of you guys, order is really important, especially for your suppliers. So the order that you're submitting the information into our prompt system, just know that's the order we're going to apply in your output. And then finally, as a general rule of thumb, once again, any missing information is filled in by the AI. If you give it to us, we will use that information first. If there's one thing that I want you as a viewer to take away from this video, it is the fact that it's really just this sentence right here, which is any missing information is filled by the AI, but if you give it to us, we will use that information first. Hopefully this helps you use AI tech packs effectively. Again, if you need any help, feel free to reach out to us by emailing info@aitechpacks.com, or you can WhatsApp us at 408-763-1969. You can also call this number or text it, and our team will help you load existing patterns into style blocks for your account if you're having issues with that, or just honestly answering any issues you may have.